5 years in, this is no longer about a law. This is not about the Affordable Care Act as legislation or Obamacare as a political football. This is health care in America.
President Obama this week asserting that Obamacare is here to stay. This after the Supreme Court rejected a conservative legal challenge that sought to undermine, probably doom the health care law if it had succeeded. Even the very phrase Obamacare has been a central piece of the 5-year fight over the legislation. Opponents hoping to saddle the president with the label, one that he appears to be wearing proudly these days. So what do conservatives do now? Do they finally accept Obamacare? And what happens if a Republican manages to move into the White House when President Obama departs? NBC News senior political reporter Perry Bacon Jr. wrote about this earlier in the week, and he joins us now. Panel is back with us as well. So, Perry, there have been, we've documented, 40, 50, 60, 70 repeal votes by Republicans in the House. They now control the Senate. Let's play this out right now. So the Supreme Court basically upholds Obamacare right now. It is safe through the Obama presidency. We can say this. What if a Republican president gets elected in 2016, though, has that majority in the House, has that majority in the Senate, could pass anything they want? Is this a Republican Party right now that would still repeal Obamacare?
I think it depends on what the phrase repeal means. I think realistically,
Thank you, John Kerry.
No, go ahead. I think any notion you're going to get rid of, the law now covers something like 10 to 12 million people. You're not going to get rid of the law completely. What I think you can see happening is some kind of, the word I heard this week was reconciliation, where you can use, if you have 51 Republican senators, you have a House majority of Republicans, and you have a Republican president, you could use that to change the law. And you can call anything you want to repeal. So ultimately, what I think you might see is a Republican president might make a few changes to tweak the law, limits Medicaid a little bit, changes the exchanges some. They call it a repeal, and then they sign it. The notion they're going to get rid of the whole law, I think, is over. But I do think there's some possibility of changing the law, and you can call it a repeal, whatever you want to. So I think the law is not going to necessarily stay the way it is totally. But the idea that we're going to get rid of this whole expansion of health insurance, I think, is over. The Republicans are accepting they have to come up with their own health care plan that covers 10 or 15 million people in some way. You heard Jeb Bush say we've got to focus on our replacement plan. Now, I think that's where things are headed.
As Robert George reminded me there, too, my stupid attempt at humor there fell flat, in part because what depends what the meaning of the word is. This was Bill Clinton, not John Kerry. Anyway, but Perry Bacon, that's what you're saying is interesting to me, too, because it strikes to me the words from Republicans for the last 5 years has been repeal and replace. And in the 5 years since this law was first enacted, we've never really seen that sort of consensus Republican replacement plan.
Exactly. They've always talked about repeal and replace, but you've only heard really the repeal details. And even this week, you saw all the candidates immediately said, I'm still committed to repealing Obamacare. You saw, in the days before the ruling, in fact, that people kept asking, what is the Republican plan? What is the Republican plan? And they really didn't have one. And I think now it becomes even more important if you're a Scott Walker, you're a Marco Rubio, you're a Jeb Bush, to think about if you're going to promise to repeal Obamacare, or whatever that you think that means, you then got to actually have a detailed plan for replacement, because that's where we are now, I think. Other key thing to watch is Obamacare, while being law, is still, you have these 21 states, basically the entire South is not expanding Medicaid, and that's a huge part of the law. And that's another place where they can still keep resisting Obamacare. And up to now, I've not seen a lot of evidence. Think about Texas and Florida have a huge number of uninsured people in those states who would be eligible for Medicaid if they took the federal funds. And that's what I'm going to watch over this next year or so is, now that the heat on this law went down some, can Abbott or can Rick Scott in Florida sort of quietly accept those Medicaid funds? And that's a big discussion as well.
Geez, all of the finessing, all of the nuance here, trying to sort of accept some of this framework without actually saying you're accepting it. Maybe that's one of the stories to follow for the next couple of years after this Supreme Court ruling. NBC News' Perry Bacon, thanks for taking a few minutes this morning. Appreciate it.